Yeah, welcome and hello. This is Kerbal Space Program version 1.5.0, and then there's like a 0.2332. Don't hold me to that one because I think I just experienced an update. Oh, wonderfully. They've given us a change log. So, anyway, this is going to be gone so fast you're going to have to pause to read that. All right? Anyway. So this is a really easy game. This is the opening moves, and it's not too hard. You can get far fast. Um, if I just don't bother getting into the details of it, basically, it's as easy as picking a flag. I will take. Let's just do the squad logo. Maybe not. We'll do a parody flag of the former USSR, also known as UKKR. I have no idea what this is going to look like. We'll just do easy career mode. This is what this is all about, is career. And I see I have my cap locks on. But anyway, I'm going to start real fast and real quick. So if you want to read some of the fine print, you may have to pause. I have to do this quick. Thanks, I've got it. Alright, the first thing we need to do is accept a mission. I'm going to launch our first vessel and gather scientific data from Kerbin. Alright, now this is real easy, and I've seen kind of exploit ways to do this, but we're really going to do it. And there's nothing to do but build our first ship and gather our first bits of science. So click that. Okay, got it. Building a new ship. Alright, I don't want all the fuel, and I don't want all the thrust. It's not heavy enough to even, and I'm also trying to land near, and I'm trying to cut down the time on the opening move. No, I don't need that. I could if I wanted stability. I might come back and get that. Alright, so first thing we have is our science. We only have one science project, and that makes everything real easy. Now you can have this on or off, so it clicks to grid, or it's more freestyle. There's also a way to take this and like hit your D button, and it just flips it like that. So we can put this on. I will show you how to auto do your shoot now. Just put it at right in the middle, about 50, to be safe, and then you can learn what it really means later. Alright, that way if you pull your cord too quick, it won't matter. The chute won't go until it reaches a certain altitude. We do need do our staging, which is a parachute and a launch, and we also will need our Kerbal knot, which I believe engineers should always fly their vessel first, especially when we don't need the skill of a pilot. Now someone else might think, no, we'll still send a guinea pig up, but yeah, anyway. So I'm going to call this Z, save. Alright, so let's go launch it. Alright, the first thing we have to do is understand what science is. So there's a lot of science. The first one is this project we put on here called Mystery Goo. We push that button and we get 3 science points. Okay, another thing we have is our crew report, which that's crew report from the launch pad. So we get that. Now we can do something else called extravehicular activity. Unfortunately, we're limited to only to planets with oxygen, or this launch pad actually. So why we can get it, we'll take it. Anyway, so that's our science. 1, 2, 3. Alright, now we get to collect science in the air, and we get to collect science when we land. So it's the only thing we're going to have left is Mystery Goo and EVA report. So I'm going to collect mystery goo in the air. One thing you can do is light that up, open that up, and hold it over here. And then at the appropriate moment, I will just push the button. So anyway, I'm going to shoot for that complex over there and try to land inside of it. So first thing we do is we go up and then we straighten it out, go up, straighten out, kind of let it do this. If it does it too much, you're going to go too far. And then it looks like we pulled a little one direction or not, but that's not too bad. Alright, so while we're up here, two ways. You can either click on it like that and do it, or I can just press, and presto, we got it. And when I'm done with this, I'll just click there and it's gone. Alright, so remember I preset our parachute earlier. That happens at about, I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000 feet, so it's not going to make a difference here. You can kind of try to guide your craft aerodynamically if you want to. It doesn't always work, but then you have to pull your parachute eventually by, I'd say, 1,300 to 1,000 feet, and we hope that we land in a good spot. Okay, it looks like we might land here on this green patch, which is going to be called Kerbal Space Center. Now, each of these areas, you can do this here, 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 and here. You can also do it on the crawlerway, the launch pad, just like we did when we opened, or the airplane runway. So these items are called biomes. And what a biome is a place where you can get data, scientific data for future analysis. So when we land, we won't be able to do 2 crew reports. We are only able to do 1. So next time we land in this area, we will it owes us a crew report. So I observed the mystery goo. All right, we'll keep that 3 points. We can do an EVA, more extravehicular vehicular activity. And then we board. And then we can recover our vessel. Alright, so what we did is we checked 3 mystery goos in flight, at the launch pad, and at Kerbal Space Center. Here's a list of it all. It gives us money for some parts back, and it shows our crew experience. We gained 1 point of experience. Alright, so the other thing you'll see is our money went up, and we have achieved both of those missions. That's how we got paid. So the next 2 missions are going to be escape the atmosphere and orbit Kerbin. Alright, now we have our 33 science points here, and we have some money here. So we need to spend the money by upgrading different buildings, which will give us different abilities. Like this one, for example, is can perform EVAs. Now this is going to be while we're flying. We could only do that on the ground in oxygen-borne atmosphere, but now we can do it anywhere if we choose this. If we choose this, we will no longer have our 18-ton weight limit and our maximum vessel size of 20 meters by 20 meters. So I want to perform EVAs early. They get you points, and that's fine. That's not too much money. It still gives us time, or cash, and this one will be next. So we enter here, and we have 33 points. This one's going to cost us 5. This will be another 5, and then they're going to go up in price. Like, we have 23 points, so we can do anything. Now for me, I'm going to take this one, and that's because I have a scientific instrument here, and this is going to speed this along, and this one's next anyway. So let's research that and get out of here. Alright, now I'm going to go back in here. And we are going to form a Z1 now. And what you're going to find out is I'm going to keep that out, throw that away. All right, what you see right here is that we have gas tanks. And I think 4 of them is enough, but we'll do 5. 1 for good measure. Hope that doesn't work against us. We're going to use this swivel on the bottom. T45, that means we can steer. Now, I'm going to use this solid rocket booster in the future, so I'm going to set it here just like I'm saving that one. This is our decoupler, so I'm going to put that in 2 places. Actually, I'm going to bypass that just to save time. Put a heat shield underneath. That's not necessary. It's just we're going to need it for the next one, so I'm putting it on now. And then I got my decoupler there. And this is another decoupler. A solid rocket booster. Alright, so now we're going to need to make sure this goes, then this goes. I'll drag that into there so they fire at the same time. And our parachute's set for ahead of time. Now, on this one I'm only going to need 2 of these. So I'm going to place them side by side like this for balance. Okay? And let's go see what else we have. That's heavy. Fins. Let's go 4 fins on the bottom. This is going to keep us kind of headed up. And then we'll put less, or 3 fins on the top. Actually, I might go 6 on the bottom. Let's do that. And if that doesn't put us over our part count, which we can check that right here, of 23, we got 7 parts to go. Hey, hey, hey. Alright, checking. Next thing we want to look at is science. I have nothing in power. Oh, yeah, we do have communications. And we'll just want one of those. And I push the S or W button to flip that like that. And that's the antenna. And that's going to burn almost all our batteries. And we don't have any other batteries, so we'll be allowed to send 1 crew report home and collect 1 crew report. And that's the whole purpose of that antenna, is for a single solitary crew report. Now, in the name of efficiency, I'm going to use 2 of these because we're going to have upper atmosphere and space is our hope. Space is at 70,000 meters, so let's save that. We're going to pick another pilot. Against my better judgment, I will send the scientist up rather than a pilot. I'm just hoping this rocket will fly itself and all he has to do is sit there like Yuri Gagarin. They wouldn't even give Yuri the control of his. He had an override code written on a piece of paper. They were afraid if he went insane that they didn't want him crashing the ship, but they figured if he was insane, he wouldn't actually be able to follow the instructions on the piece of paper to do the override code to save his life. Anyway, he never needed it. It was an easy, cheesy flight, just like this one's supposed to be, and I think it's going to be just like us. I'll have to look it up, but I don't know if Yuri orbited. He may have just came up and went up and came back down. Now, don't hold me to that historically. I'm using my brain. I could be totally wrong, and I wouldn't want to speak out of turn if he did orbit. For some reason, I think he did not. He was just the first man in space. Just like Bob Kerman. Alright, you can see he's not a pilot, so we don't have a SAS, which is pilot control, like a stabilization control. Not just pilot. Pilots can do this without additional equipment. Other people need a mechanical assist. RCS is basically how we maneuver in space, and we also use something called reaction wheels. So between reaction wheels and thrusters, you know, and stabilization control, it all seems to work. Okay, so I'm going to turn my gas to here to start, which is in case I forget at stage separation, it won't be lost. But we will want to control this manually after the solid boosters go. Once solid boosters start, you can't stop them. They go. And then after we eject them, we'll have more control. But anyway, you can always hit your decoupler and hope you're not at the mercy of the thrust value of the solid booster pushing into your coupler, not allowing it to disengage, and driving you into the surface of the planet. But anyway, that's risk mitigation, and that's what the fins are for. Mitigating that risk. Anyway, here we go. Not much left to do but push the button and enjoy the ride. We hope. Alright, so far so good. It looks like our trajectory and where we are pointing our nose, this is where we're pointing our nose, and this yellow value is our trajectory value. And we're starting to tip a little bit off. You can see the line tipping off, and we're about to run out of gas. Fire, and then I'm going to go ahead and I want this number to go up. I don't really care if it goes up fast or slow, but I do like it going up, 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 up. I may be undervaluing myself right now. I'm going to go to this other, got a lot of gas, and so I'm going to go to this other map, see where I'm at. Alright, at 21,000, I think I'm going to double that speed. Okay, now, one thing is we want to stay in the green, or we're going to push over. And it's like jackknifing it's when a trailer jackknifes, it's coming faster than the vehicle, which is trying to stop, and it just can't. Anyway, this number's going up, this number's going up, and I want to start pulling it this way. And we hope we don't roll. Okay, we got control, so we can. We're going to come over to here, about 20. So we don't shoot too much into space. And we have to kind of stay with it. Alright, that's pretty good. Our goal's 70. So we should get there no matter what. I'm at risk now of not getting there because I'm getting low on fuel, so I'm going to come back to here to my efficiency point, get more fuel efficiency. Let's come back here. That's my fuel efficient point. That's my aerodynamic efficiency, fuel efficiency, everything. I just shut her down. Okay, that's 73. That's space, 70 space. Now we might not make it because we're losing speed, but I want to keep myself in this control zone while I take the ride up, and I've saved that gas. Little bit on the throttle just in case I need a boost. And it doesn't look like we're going solid, and I don't have much for a boost anyway. But we're actually going to make it into space. So if I can get my readings before 70, I can take it. Mystery goo. Alright, I didn't get the... Okay, we just entered into space. If you heard the change of the music, we're going to observe space mystery goo now. Alright, now I'm going to do my barometric pressure. Okay, log my temperature. Okay, now guess what else we're going to do? EVA, first man in space. Then we board again by hitting the B. And before I leave this space, I'm going to do a crew report. And this time we're going to transmit it and spread the news to the Kerbal nations. So you'll see this. That's happening. You didn't get to see the antenna extend, but it did. Now you get to see it go back. All right. And now when we come down below 70, we need to finish our readings, which if it says review data, it's the other one. Yeah, this one's open. So now we need to do this reading. That's upper atmosphere. If you want to read that, put it on pause. All right. And then we need to do our crew report. All right. And if we're badasses enough, we do the EVA report before it gets too hot or too low, and we're almost there, but we got it. All right. You do not want to do that below 60, especially at 50. Basically you're picking up heat at that point and you'll burn to a cinder. So you just go poof. Anyway, I don't know. That was kind of risky, but hey, it's all about maximum points. So here's what we're trying to achieve now. Get back to this negative G-thrust and thrust. Ugh. Did you see me give the rest of it to there? All right, now I'm going to decouple and we're going to re-enter back into Earth's atmosphere. All right, so that's going to go that way. And this is actually shaped in a particular manner to where it's to settle in at that. It's a teardrop or a gumdrop. Did you see that go by? There went what we injected. And it's because it's heavier than us and by quite a bit. And then here we come. Nothing got so hot. I had to protect it. Otherwise, I would have liked to remove it, brought the data inside, gone outside. I didn't have time and brought it back. But since we just went into space and came back now, I'm going to go ahead and pull the chutes right now. All right, you hear me push the button? So we will learn what 5.0 is. So watch this. And when that opens, that's going to be your atmospheric pressure on this planet. All planets are different with atmospheric pressure. Some don't even have atmosphere. The Duna planet has less atmosphere, so chutes are basically ineffective. You can use them, but they just slow you down a bit, and then you have to use thrusters to back them up. Some planets you'll need are so much force. All right, so anyway, over the water, it flowers open at the appropriate moment, and look at us, we're 200 feet above water. Now we can EVA, and we're going to get another EVA report. All right, we're just cranking it now. Okay, so I'm going to collect the data here, remove the data, and restore. Take data. I have to complete this before I hit the bottom. Take data. Now onboarding. Okay, so I just boarded. Now I'm going to do this again. Observe mystery goo. That's I'm not going to take that one. It's small. I'll take that, and I'll take this before I hit the water. Oh, I got it. All right. So we're in the water. We're going to observe the mystery goo in the water. Voila. And did you see that this guy, he's going to take an EVA again, and he is going to take the data again. So take this data. He's going to store the experiments, which means he just put these away and now they're eligible to work again. And did you see him restore this? Let's do it again. A scientist is the only crew member that can do this. Just like a pilot gets his perk, a scientist gets his. So he can, with these mystery goo containers, he can remove them, and he knows how to reset them. The other guys just can't do it. And he's also the only guy who, during an external EVA, can actually take the readings. The others have to get inside and push a button, but he knows how to push the button on the outside or do it manually. So we've just collected a whole bunch of science from upper atmosphere, lower atmosphere, flying over water, and landing in the water. A bunch of readings. So let's recover our vessel. Back to the Space Center. This is mission number 2. And I don't know how far we are into this video. I'll check later. But man, you can see I bet it's less than 30 minutes. And we're already cooking on gas. Look, we got 116.3 science points. That's what we just collected. For some reason, we must have got some bonus science points, about 33 of them, probably for something else. I have no idea. I don't know. I'd have to look at it closely. We get some money for the parts that actually came back to Earth. They are depreciated in value, and we won't be able to, I don't know, use them again, but we got cash value. Anyway, you can see our funds just shot up because we escaped the atmosphere, and our crew, once again, scientist Bob, Kerman, everyone's named Kerman, has achieved 1 experience point. We also have reputation that we're picking up, and this is our total reputation now. I don't do anything with that. That's over here in this building, and I think that's just something to do with extra money you have later, or it's somebody's notion of a comedic space program, some stuff. I mean, if you spend $100,000, it'll reduce your parts cost by 10%. Like I said, if you have extra cash. Now, we upgraded this last time. I promised this would be next, and I keep my promises. So that's only a 50,000 upgrade. That leaves us 174 left. So you could go right into your next phase if that wasn't 150 and do that. That you couldn't afford. And this just allows you to get more active contracts. Let's go ahead and go in here. We've completed 3 contracts. This is the 4th contract. You can take a 5th contract, but you can get caught up where you can't run the test for some reason. Let me look at it. We want you to test the decoupler splashdown at Kerbin. Well, I don't bring decouplers back, right? I use them in space, see, so you can get caught. Or test this on a suborbital trajectory. Look, you got to be between 80 and 90,000, and we want you to test the engine on a suborbital trajectory over Kerbin. Man, I usually lose that engine before I'm in orbit there, unless I'm passing through that orbit. Anyway. So they basically want me to fly through it and don't go into orbit and then come back to Earth, which that might have been a wonderful thing to do on the last mission. I think that's exactly what we could have done if I wouldn't have pulled over. I thought I cut it off at about 73. I did, but I could have made it to 80 by just not leveling out. Test at the launch site. Could have done that on the last one too. Anyway, we're going to be happy with this one and leave. And we've got 149 experience points to spend, but you know what? It doubles each time, so it gets expensive. So that one's 20. That one I wanted next. Now we have 129 left, and see, these are 45. So if 90 and 90 minus 45, does that, yeah, so what we basically want to do is get this battery. That would be nice. And then these small engines are really good when you get into space. highly efficient, really specific for the task, just what the doctor ordered. We have 39 extra points, so you can't really jump the gun and get one of those. So we'll go back here. These big fins and this thing, this decoupler are really nice. Well, I'll actually use all three of those parts almost instantly. So looks like we've got money to upgrade. We upgraded this. We upgraded this. I'm gonna do it. I don't know why, and it's way too early, and this leaves me a little bit naked, meaning that if I fail I won't have a second chance. But I will push the envelope for this video, for the watchers of this content. For you. Okay, so now let's look at our new parameters. We are limited to 30 parts and a mass of 140 tons. We won't even get close to that. We aren't going to use this. We'll use that. And we aren't going to use this. And I'm going to take that off. And I'm going to take the other science off. I can put it back on. And that looks like that's good for me. Right there. Alright. The next thing we need are gas tanks. So I'm going to put that one there. And I'm going to get this little thing called a terrier. If I wasn't limited to counts, I might go pug, then terrier, then L45. But, and then we're going to put on maybe 2 or 3 of these. Shall we go with 3? Alright, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to change the mid color so it's easier to count. And I'm going to change this color. So what did I do? Alright. One thing I didn't do was put a decoupler on there. So let's grab that real quick. I guess it did not look right. Alright. So let's change that just all white. And then we're going to change this to all white. All white. And we might as well just make all these the dark, so you can see 3 tanks on the bottom stage, 1 tank on the top stage. Here's our L45. That's the decoupler I didn't have and won't need now. So that's basically it, and our part count says 12. You know, think about that. So let's put one on here, one on here. I'm not going to do any mystery goo because, well, I could put one on there for where we land, but if we land, I better just to be safe, right? And we might as well do 2 for balance. Alright. Alright, now we need to do this because this is going to chew some stuff up. What's my part count? 16. I can go 9. Let's do it. 3. Alright, so we're going to put 3 of these on. I wanted to look at that flag. UKKR with I don't know what that is. So Something orbiting a bolt with a star. I don't know what that bolt is. If it's even a bolt. Could be a cutaway of a space helmet. I'm not really sure. Oh, it is a space helmet, I think. It's a space helmet with the UKKR in the middle of it and a star above the head. I hate it. But anyway, it's alright. I didn't pick it because I'm enamored with it. I just was picking any old thing. And the nice thing about that is you can go to the Space Center and change that later if you so feel so compelled. Alright, so let's put some of these on for aerodynamics. Now our part count is 25. And what that might mean for me is 3 of these. And so it doesn't get top heavy, I'm going to burn this one first. That fuel will get used first, and then this fuel will get used, and then that fuel will get used. Therefore, we're going to keep all the weight on the bottom as long as possible to get as high as possible. Otherwise, we might start rolling because we're top heavy. And we're in gravity, and our balance is out of whack. When we get to a certain point where gravity's not affecting us as much, we won't really need balance. We'll need other mechanisms. And we can have 2 more parts if we want. I vote batteries. Alright, I'm so nerdy, I might just put them on a part I'm going to throw away. Which is here. And then, so it doesn't use this electricity first, I'm going to block that bus fuse. And we have to remember to turn that on when we decouple here, or we will have no control. This is going to be the Z12 ORB orbiter. And I'm going to save real quick, then I'm going to reset. I'm going to save. So these burn, then this drops. When those drop, this one can be in the beginning with it. And when those drop, it's nothing. But when that drops, that needs to come on. And when that drops, it's okay to pull the parachute, because we're going to change this to 6 and 16. And that's just because last time it pulled, I'm sitting 300 feet over the top and I didn't have any time. So anyway, this is, our goal here is to actually achieve low Earth orbit. We have to pick a pilot, and it's going to be either Valentina or Jebediah. It's a man's world. Let's send Jebediah, right? And then I guess Valentina can head up the rescue mission, or maybe we'll send her to the flyby of the moon. And that makes sense, because if she does the flyby, then Jebediah will come back and do the landing, and he's like the Neil Armstrong, and she can fly airplanes around while he's doing space missions. Or I can just dedicate her to airplanes completely, and see who builds experience faster. Him. Alright, so I'm not going to worry too much about science right now. It's there. It's for the future. And I think we've gotten everything everywhere until we actually get into orbit, and then we'll only be able to take about a series of 6 EVA reports from space. And we already got a lot of everything else. We just basically need to achieve near Earth orbit now and put all our focus there. So yeah, I got to be careful with my gas. It's going to come on, so I'll have control of this engine even though I don't want to use it unless I have to. So the pilot assist, turn it on, and let's see what happens. That's a lot of power. I don't mess with too much at this point. I just want to fly straight up. Some of the stuff I'm looking for before I ever think about anything is 200 meters per second and about 2,300 feet. I've just achieved both of those. Okay, so if I have the ability, and I don't, I could try to kick over to that, kick over in a certain direction. All I did was use my reaction wheel to coax it a little with a twist. And you can see we're getting ready to run out, so I'm going to give it gas. We had a lot of force going on. Drop those down. Good. Kerbal doesn't look like they're going to get bombed. All those went squirrely. And then I'm going to turn my gas back. Okay. About like that. So I'm at 1G. As long as this number's going up, I'm happy. Now I have to get over here to this number and find out where I'm at there, and it's incredible where I'm at, so I need to get down on it and put it about right there. Okay, and then I'm going to crank my number back or try to get some speed. I'm really pulling hard. I'm not efficient at all, so there it comes back. So I'm going to try to freeze that number. So each time it starts going up, I'm going to pull on it, try to stop it. If you can see me doing that. And I can do that from here and monitor fuel consumption too. So here I come. It starts going up, I pull it back. Look, freezes, starts going up, I pull it back. Starts going up, I'll pull it back. Oh, it's running backwards now. Let me go look over here. I'm a full minute and 36 seconds away from that. So I really don't care if I hold that number around 940. As long as we don't go below 940. See, we get close, it's going to start going back the other way. Alright, I'm going to like that. And what we're going to do is try to get this to 2,200 before we hit that. And there's a couple ways to do it. One, we can just punch it. Watch this. We'll just burn this fuel out, right? See what happens. Look at our speed go up. And our whole goal is 2,200. We're going to run out of gas here in a minute. But that's alright. This is just the stage. Then we have the next one. So look where we are. I'm turning off the gas now. I'm going to decouple. And this is what we got to work with now. Let's see where we're at. Looks like our speed's going backwards and we don't like that. So I need to get that moving forward again. There we go. We're moving forward. I barely got the gas on. We're closing in on this. The whole idea is to hit 2,200 when you hit 0 here. Now there's a couple things you can do. If you watch this, I'm going to give it gas. See that timer move away from you. Look at that. So you can make that time move backwards, or you can make it freeze up. Me, myself, I just want this to go forward, and I'll worry about that when it hits about 12 seconds. And that's just because I'm ahead of the game right now and I can see it. And I'm close. About 18 or 19, they can't stop you even if you go too far. So 19, you're almost guaranteed if you have any gas left at all. Um, and we do. We're loaded. But we're down to 18 seconds. So 16, 15, 14, and look, we're not there yet. So I'm gonna put the gas on and hold it at 10. Look at that. 9. Yeah, it's moving so slow, but this is starting to pick up. And look, it moved to 10. So back off. And another thing I can do to make that timer move faster is put it right there. And then it seems like no matter how much gas I give it, it heads towards me. But look at that. It's a... Now, as it hits 2,000, I'm going to show you the orbital line. Look at the orbital line grow. Okay, bam, we have a periapsis. We're only at 7,000, and we're at 0 there. So we did it. We created a periapsis at 0 at our apoapsis. Now, I'm just going to give it a little gas, and we're going to make this number grow to 70. All right, there we go. And going back here, you can see Jebediah has now reached near Earth orbit. So when he returns, he will have a full star of experience. He'll be your first player, your first 1-star astronaut. And basically, we are up here for the long haul. I mean, we're up here until we come down. And the way you bring him down is to put it on the reverse and reverse the process. It will, if you push gas against your direction, it will shorten your orbit. And if you, the most efficient points to do it at are your apoapsis and your periapsis, but you can do it here if you have enough gas. If you're trying to be efficient, you could have some problems. But we've got plenty of gas to do anything. I could probably do a flyby of the moon with this craft right here and that much gas. We're actually going to do our next mission will be a flyby of the moon. So let me show you the only science we have to do up here until we return to Earth. We have EVA reports like this, okay? And I'll show you. So this is above the grasslands. So as I flew over these grasslands, we just picked that EVA up. Board. Okay, I'm going to put this in the proper spot. Alright, I don't know if we have an EVA over the water. I'm not sure what we did last time. So we can go out and we can check it. So this is EVA above Kerbin's water. We'll have that. We're going to store that experiment. And the reason we're going to store it is because I'm insane. And the reason I'm insane is because I'm going to let go. Alright? Anyway, my little Kerbal's drifting away from the spacecraft. Now you push the R button and you can get your thrusters. Then we can try to not let this spaceship float away from us. Like I'm going right and left on my thrusters. He's just fixed in space. Actually, he's not, but it appears to be so. It's like interesting, huh? So we'll just cruise back to the spaceship. Don't do this unless you're brave. And know your buttons. You get up here and you'd be sad when your little Kerbal floats off into space and he has nothing to do but die. Or just be there forever. And I forget what it is. It used to be you had a 6-hour limit before he would be cleaned by the software. So you'd have 6 hours to rescue him, but then Man, I play with life support, and they run out of life support a lot faster than that. So anyway, I've grabbed back on. I'm back on my craft. I can try another EVA report. This is a shot in the dark. Okay, this is above the water. It says I have one, but I also have one, so if I try to deploy, it'll just throw it away and say, you already have that. Anyway, so I'm going to pause. I'm going to stop the video here. What I'm going to do is collect my EVA in the various biomes, and then I'm going to re-enter and not burn up when I come in. I'll be fine. And then the next episode will just be flyby to the moon, and we're going to use the same craft. I don't. Well, I may be able to get some science, so I may add an instrument. I really don't know, but anyway, basically it's going to be the same part count, everything, and we're right on the edge. So anyway, if you can see all my fuel, that's plenty. 177. My goodness. Anyway, okay. So I'm going to stop the video now, and thanks for watching.